Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 and see how the specific watch holds up in 2023. Now, personally for me, I think these watches were very solid. They came out back in 2020, so they are approaching about 3 years old upcoming this year. And because we're going to be getting the Watch 6 this year, and the Watch 5 just came out, I definitely do think Samsung, especially with the last generation watches with the Watch 5 Pro, it is kind of leaving some of these older watches out in the dust. But I will tell you, the Galaxy Watch 3 is still a pretty solid deal in my opinion. It's still, relevant. It's still connectable to pretty much all watches and, most Android phones. For example, I just bought a Galaxy S23 and it is compatible with my Galaxy Watch 3 still. So I imagine that going forward for quite a bit of time. So from the connectability standpoint, that's a really cool thing. Now, if you want to pick up some of the Galaxy watches I would recommend this year, links will be down in the description. You can get it from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of the Galaxy Watch 3, it did come out in a few different sizes. So keep that in mind. There was that 41mm size and there was a 45mm size as well. Now personally for me, I did swing for the lower one, the 41mm size, but I've owned both sizes of a lot of different watches and I almost always go for the bigger size. It just suits me better. You tend to get a little bit of a bigger battery inside of it too, but it is a really nice touch that you have with something like the Watch 3. You can see if you want the bigger one or the smaller one. That is something that's really nice. Now the display on the front is a Super AMOLED display and it is a pretty good panel. One thing I've stated from Samsung for so many years now is that you do basically get such a solid, display on all of their watches. Whether you're getting the cheapest one or you're getting the more expensive one, for the most part, they're all going to have a Super AMOLED displays and they're all going to be very solid looking displays as well. Samsung, makes some of the best displays out there and this is no exception. I think they've done a tremendous job with this specific watch's display and now that it's about 3 years later, it's still holding up very, very well. It gets pretty bright. I like the little styling around it, and it is a circular watch. When we look at something nowadays like a Apple Watch or the Galaxy Watch 5 or even the Google Pixel Watch, they all have their unique styling, but I always like how the Galaxy Watch looks like an actual professional watch. I feel like the Google Pixel Watch as well as the Apple Watch have their unique designs, which is beautiful, and I actually use an Apple Watch every day, but some people may prefer having like a standard watch design, and this is basically what you're going for. Now, in my Galaxy Watch 3, I actually don't have any bands on it. I think I took them off, and I haven't found them since, but you do have the ability of adding bands, which we'll talk about in a second. On the right side, we do have our 2 buttons. So you can always just go over there and, click on the 2 buttons if you want to. One is like the home button, the other one is like a power button, side button kind of thing, which is always nice to have. And on the back, you have your little wireless charging area. So you can put this on your Samsung Galaxy Watch charger and you can charge your Galaxy Watch via the embedded charger, which is always nice. Samsung does make some wireless charging pads, which allow you to charge, a Galaxy Watch and a phone at the same time. I use it all the time. I think it's like the Galaxy Watch Duo or something. But also you can charge up your Galaxy Watch via your Galaxy phone. That is another cool thing that Samsung has put here, and it's just such a nice touch to kind of throw onto a phone like this. You can actually charge up your device via your specific other device, which is amazing. With a lot of other phones, you don't really have that type of capability. With this phone, you do, or with your Galaxy phone, you do have that capability. As long as the Galaxy S10 or newer, including the notes and the folds and the flips, you have that type of capability, which is awesome. Now the bands, I personally do like the bands that you can buy for this thing. The included bands weren't really that great, but also I will say the bands, I feel like Samsung needs to bring in a better way of including these bands in, because I feel like, sliding them in and going that way, it hasn't really worked out that well for me. I feel like I always, misdo it. And it just doesn't really work out for me at all. I'm hoping Samsung can improve this in the future, but considering they all have this issue, I guess it's not just unique to the Galaxy Watch 3. So in terms of the outside, that kind of covers it up there. Now the features that I typically use with my Galaxy Watch are basic things. I just go ahead and, check notifications. I just go ahead and see if I'm getting a call. I almost always track my steps on any version of a watch that I'm using, whether it's the Pixel Watch, the Galaxy Watch, the Apple Watch. I'm always tracking my workouts and I'm always going down that direction. If my watch doesn't give me that accurate of a reading, then clearly I'm not going to use it. But in this case, the Galaxy watches have always done pretty well there. And I think that's another cool thing that you're kind of getting with something like the Galaxy Watch 3. It can track your workouts, and even if you're running or walking, it's going to detect it. You can check your steps, and that is something that I really do like about this specific device. if you're getting a watch, that is something you can't overlook. I personally do feel like if I didn't use my Galaxy Watch, or if I didn't use an Apple Watch that I use every day, I personally probably wouldn't be that motivated to work out at all. It's very crazy. I typically don't think about that kind of stuff, but it is pretty insane. And if you don't have a Galaxy Watch or any smartwatch at all, going from no smartwatch to even a Galaxy Watch 3 is a really big movement in my opinion. The battery life on this watch is still pretty decent. The features of this watch are still pretty good. You're still getting kind of a little bit of software support, although this thing is, I think, maybe already unsupported, considering the Galaxy S20 is also unsupported now. So I'm not really too sure where this specific phone stands in the software department. It's probably not going to be lasting that much longer, but like I said, it's still able to be connected to the latest generation of Samsung phones. So I think that's a really nice thing too. So to kind of sum up this video, what I'll probably tell you is a Galaxy Watch 3 I think is still very relevant. I still think it's completely worth buying. It wouldn't be the first smartwatch I'd recommend buying though. Like if you have the ability, get the Galaxy Watch 5. If you can't get that, get the Galaxy Watch 4. If you can't get that, then I think something like this probably makes a little bit more sense to buy. But I definitely do think when I look back, the Galaxy Watch 3 is a very solid device. I think it's a very good thing to pick up. It's not perfect, but I think it gets the job done, and a majority of people probably love this specific watch still. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.